Hi guys, this is Vysh from Vysh and we are going to continue Geography NCERT series, Chapter 4, which is again very important for UPSC. That is the monsoon systems, the weather systems, the climate in India. So class 9th, it will not have too much technical details, but it will have a lot of pictures and it will give you a basic understanding of the Indian climatic conditions. So we'll begin without any delay because it's a little lengthy chapter. So we should be not taking much time and just making the video lengthier. So PDFs, please download from the NCERT website. It's available for free. So climate, chapter 4 of class 9th. So like it's mentioned here, the last two chapters we have seen the landforms, we have seen the drainage. Now it's time to see the climate. Okay, so basically the two definitions, climate and weather, we already seen in lower classes. Like climate is something which is a total thing or a holistic thing or which is covering lot of time period. Okay, long period of time. That is climate. Weather is something like you just look outside the window and you will tell like today is a like fine sunny day, today is a rainy day. Just looking and telling the instant thing, that is okay. Any point of time, that is weather. That's the basic difference. Okay, but common thing between both of them is like it is dealing with the same thing. Like it's temperature or atmospheric pressure, humidity, precipitation, same thing. But it's like one is one point of time, one is longer time. Okay, that's the basic difference. Now the world is divided into a number of climatic regions. We have seen that also in lower classes, but here a little more details will be there. The word monsoon, it is derived from the Arabic word mausam, okay, which literally means season. So mausam means season. We have the project mausam. Please try to read about it. It's not this year current affair, but it can be picked up from UPSC, picked up for UPSC. Okay. So monsoon refers to the seasonal reversal in the wind direction during an year. Okay, seasonal reversal. We'll see when we learn monsoon again. Okay, the climate of India is described. Okay, India is actually generally called monsoon type of climate. Like there is tropical climate, there is equatorial climate, there is different names for different regions. So India is specifically a monsoon type of climate where reversal of wind is happening. Okay, now temperature, precipitation, two important factors. In summer the mercury occasionally touches 50 degree. That means in the temperature scale it is showing 50 degree in Rajasthan, whereas it may be around 20 degree in Jammu and Kashmir. So it's showing the variation, okay, between Rajasthan and Jammu and Kashmir. Dras, Dras actually in Jammu and Kashmir, it is the coldest place in India. It is the second most coldest place in the world actually. Okay, first is Siberia and second in the world is Dras in Jammu and Kashmir, which is actually minus 45 degree. Okay, you should imagine, like Siachen glacier and all is like near this only. So Siachen glacier, Dras and all, where our military forces are also there, minus 45 degree. You can imagine how it is. Like here itself, if the AC temperature goes below 16 degree, we'll feel like shivering, right? 16 positive plus 16, I'm telling. This is minus 45. So you should know how much cold it is. Thiruvananthapuram, it is in Kerala, it is actually having temperature of 22 degrees. So there it's kind of little bit moderate. There is a difference why this happens. Okay, because this is towards the coastal region, this is towards the internal mountain regions. So that also influences. We'll see a lot of factors in this chapter which has to be noted down by you. Okay. So wide difference, like I told, in a particular same place itself. The Thar desert, if you see in the daytime it is 50 degree, but night time it is 15 degree. So that daytime variation within a single place, that is also you should know. Okay, like Andaman, Kerala and all, it is still okay, right? There is no much difference like this, huge difference in day and night. But there are places which having these much contrast also in India. So you should know India has a lot of variety of climatic regions. And here I think rain they are telling, till now we saw temperature. Rain, if you see 400 centimeter in Meghalaya, 10 centimeter in Ladakh. Ladakh is the place where the least rainfall is happening in India, and in Meghalaya I think Monsoon is a place where the heaviest rainfall happens. So rain wise also it is happening. Okay, Tamil Nadu is actually a place where October November rains will be there. Okay, it's not in the regular monsoon, they'll get it while the monsoons are returning back. Okay, that we'll see. Then okay, rainfall very important, that and all we know. So climatic control, this is what I told, these 6 or 7 factors, please make a note. Even in mains answers you can use it. Latitude, altitude, pressure, wind system, distance from the sea, that is continentality, ocean currents and relief features. These are the basic factors which decides the climate of a place. Okay, it's very important, please you should know all these things. And now we'll see one line about how it influences. Due to the curvature of the earth, the shape of the earth, the amount of solar energy received varies according to the latitude. So obviously we know that summer solstice, winter solstice, and the sun, like half of the year it will be northern hemisphere, then it will be southern hemisphere, because of the shape of the earth. So that will obviously decide the temperature difference, and it will generally decreases from the equator towards the poles. That also we know. So latitude is a very important factor which decides the climate. That is one thing. Next is altitude. We know as we go higher, what will happen? It will become colder, right? The air atmosphere will become denser. When we climb mountains and all, we know that the temperature will go low. So hills are therefore cooler during summers. The pressure, okay, so that is the second thing. Now third one, the pressure and wind system. Pressure and wind system, it's like depend on the latitude and altitude. So those two factors decide the pressure and wind system. Okay, in the last class, I think 8th or 7th, we have seen that pressure belt system. Like in equator, it is the low pressure doldrums. Then we have the subtropical one. Then we have the polar one. Then we have the polar actual poles. So that 4 levels and all we have seen. Then next is the sea, the distance of the place from the sea. Okay, the sea exerts a moderating influence on climate. As the distance from the sea increases, its moderating influence decreases. So more you are closer to sea, more will be the influence. That is a very basic thing. So this condition is actually known as continentality. It is very hot during summers and very cold during winters. Okay, that is what happens when you are near the sea. So ocean currents along with the onshore wind affect the climate of the coastal area. Okay, ocean currents along with the onshore wind affect the climate of the coastal area. We have seen cold current, warm current and all. I have shown you the picture also in the previous chapters, previous classes actually. So we know like cold currents are there in the western margin of the continent, and that is why deserts are there. Atacama desert is there. So that kind of very basic things we have shown with pictures in previous classes. So just note down these 6 factors. Now I think with respect to India, again they are telling all these factors. So okay, one second. Okay, these things what world's deserts are located in the western margin of continent in the subtropics. Why? This was actually a UPSC question. Okay, they just picked out this thing and asked you in UPSC mains. So try to find out the answer for that. Already it will be covered in different classes, but try to answer that. Relief to plays a major role in different types of climate. High mountains act as barriers for cold or hot winds. Okay, you know the Himalayas are actually protecting India from the cold Siberian waves. Okay, the cold waves. So it actually relief also decides the climate. And the rain bearing winds. The monsoon also, you know, it will come from the Lakshadweep area and all. It will come and hit the western Ghats and then rise up and then come down as rainfall. So that mountains is playing a very important role. Now Indian perspective, latitude, you know, Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of the country. The trick I have shown you in class 9 chapter 1 video, please watch that. So we have a tropical climate where a lot of sunshine and all is there. That is why we have the Paris climate change and all. So latitude wise, Tropic of Cancer is the major line which passes through India. Altitude wise, we know we have a lot of mountains, 6,000 meter and high above, like we have seen in the chapter 1, the Himadri, Himachal, Shivaliks and all. And in coastal area we have places which is just 30 meters also. So that variation is there. So obviously temperature, pressure, climate, everything will also differ. Himalayan prevents the cold wind from Central Asia, I already told you. So that's about altitude. Now pressure and wind. Pressure and surface wind, upper air circulation, western cyclonic disturbances, lot of different types of wind is also flowing in India. India lies in the region of northeasterly winds. Okay, India's location itself, you know, on the world global earth where it is in the northern hemisphere and also in the eastern hemisphere. So the northeasterly winds, and the wind is named how? It is named based on the place where it originates. Okay, like suppose westerlies. Westerly means starting from the west. Easterly means starting from the east. Land breeze means starting from land and going to sea. Sea breeze means starting from sea and going to land. So the name of the wind is associated with the origin of the wind. Okay, know that thing. Then these winds originate from the subtropical high pressure belt of the northern hemisphere. They blow south, get deflected to the right. This without pictures you won't understand. You should know something which is called the Coriolis force now. Okay, an apparent force caused by the Earth's rotation. The Coriolis force is responsible for deflecting wind towards the right in the northern hemisphere and towards the left in the southern hemisphere. This is known as Ferrel's law. So you know these basic things, like there is something called Ferrel's law and there is a Coriolis force which is based on the rotation of the Earth. Okay, you know Earth is rotating from west to east. Okay, west to east. So anything which is going up, suppose from a point, it will be getting deflected towards the right in the northern hemisphere and it will be deflecting towards the left in the southern hemisphere. Okay, left in the southern hemisphere this way. So if you know the rocket launching sites also in most of the continents, it's there in the eastern margin. In India it is there in Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. In USA it is there in Florida. Everything is there in the eastern coast. So the direction when something is going up, it will be deflected right towards. Okay, like this in the northern hemisphere I'm telling. Florida and the place which is like in India, both are in northern hemisphere. That's why I took that example. So that is Coriolis force, and this Ferrell's law is related to that. Okay, you should know. UPSC will pick these kind of words. The pressure and wind conditions over India are unique. During winter, there is a high pressure area north of the Himalayas. Cold, dry winds flow from the region to the low pressure areas. The wind also you should know, like always it flows from high pressure to low pressure. Okay, that's a basic thing. You should know these basic things so that you understand the monsoon system and we learn. Okay, monsoon is going to come. Monsoon is the most important thing. Also, the other things are not very general things which not asked as questions also. So you don't have to worry. Air moves from high pressure area over the southern Indian Ocean in a southeasterly direction, crosses the equator and turns right towards the low pressure areas over the Indian system. I show everything in pictures. Now just we'll go through the text. They are known as southwest monsoon winds. The winds blow over the warm oceans, gather moisture and bring widespread rainfall over the mainland of India. The upper air circulation in this region is dominated by a westerly flow. An important component of the flow is jet stream. Jet stream is there, which I will show you again. These jet streams are located approximately 27 to 30 degree north latitude. Therefore, they are known as subtropical westerly jet streams. So, subtropical latitude, westerly is the direction from it originates. Jet streams, it's moving fast. That's why it's called jet streams. Over India, these jet streams blow south of the. Here again, this table we'll see. These are the narrow belt of high altitude westerly wind in the troposphere. Their speed varies from about 110 km per hour in summer to about 184 km in winter. A number of separate jet streams have been identified. The most constant are the mid-latitude and subtropical jet stream. Okay, so jet stream, you know, fast blowing winds from the west, and it is in near the tropics, means it will be called tropical westerly jet streams. Tropical easterly is also there, so the direction will be from east. Basic definitions: western cyclonic disturbances are weather phenomenon of the winter months. You know, when we discussed Mediterranean climate in the class 6th or 7th, I have told you like there winter rainfall will be happening, and that disturbance of that western thing which is happening will flow towards the east of the globe also, and it will reach India. Okay, so that is why in India, in the Delhi regions or the northwestern regions of India, we have rains during the winter season. Okay, this is because of the western disturbances which is originating from the Mediterranean region, okay, of that latitude, a little bit higher latitude than Tropic of Cancer, a little bit higher. So tropical cyclones occur during the monsoon as well as in October, November, and are part of easterly flow. These disturbances affect the coastal regions of the country. So that is about the western disturbances. We are just trying to get a feel of all these things. Okay, technical things we'll see in higher classes. So don't think like I'm not understanding anything, or just understand the different phenomena which are happening across the world now. Okay, Indian monsoons. The climate of India is strongly influenced by monsoon winds. The sailors who came to India, so it's just telling about the history, like the Arabs came to India. You know, that time and all, there is no motor boat or something engine kind of thing. It's all depending on the sails which is attached to the boat. So wind is a huge factor which decides how they will travel. So Arabs actually, they depended on these winds. Okay, the wind will take them to one direction, because you know seasonal reversal of wind is there. So in one season they will come to India, other season they will leave from India. So that is how they used to travel, and that's how the monsoon was discovered actually. So that is why it is named also, Arabic word Mausam, which I told you. This is actually the pressure belts or surface winds which you see. India, if you see, this is the subtropical westerly jet which is showing, and there is something called intertropical convergence zone which you will see, which will be shifting up and down, and that will decide the monsoon, which is actually not shifting in reality. It is actually because of the apparent movement of the sun. Okay, that and all we'll see technically when we see in class 11th, but now you should know like there are different wind system and pressure system which is flowing through the world continents. Okay, now this is very important, the reasons of monsoon or the story of monsoon. I'll tell you in a very simple way. Like suppose you know nothing about monsoons, I'll tell you how it's actually causing rain. You know, this is India. Top here we have the Tibet, we have the Pamir plateau here. So here what happens is, it's like plateau and it's always getting heated up. So when it's getting too much hot, what will happen is the air will be becoming lighter. The air will become lighter and it will get, what to say, uplifted. When it's getting uplifted, it has to go somewhere, right? So that light air, what will happen is it will rise and it will come outside. It will come outside and then come near this Madagascar region. Okay, this is Madagascar island in Africa. So it will come here and it will all, what to say, settle down here. It will come down. So this place, it's also called Mascarene High and all. Actually, UPSC once asked a question like which of the following are related to monsoon, and one of the option was Mascarene High, another option was a Somalian jet stream and all. So these are all actually related to monsoon. So you will know the whole story when you see the technical details, but just understand the story kind of thing. So it will come and settle down here, and later in the early summer season, or you can tell the June month and all, this thing from high pressure, actually high pressure area will get created here because the air is coming and settling down here. So high pressure area will get created, and you know wind will flow from high pressure to low pressure, and it will slowly come through this Maldives, Lakshadweep and all, and then it will come to the western coast of India. After coming here, because the shape is like this, it will split into two things. One, it will go to the Arabian coast, one it will go to the Bay of Bengal coast, and here you know the Meghalaya thing is there, where we have the Garo Kazi Jaintia hills also. So it's actually three hills which is nearby, and there are gaps, and that gaps will cause funneling effect. There's something called funneling effect, and that is why very heavy rainfalls are there in Meghalaya and very heavy rainfall are there in Kerala coast. So if you see, that is why the greenery, the climate, most of the things are similar between Kerala coast and northeast. So you should know why that phenomenon is happening. Okay, this rain, it's actually the southwest monsoon. After it goes, it will go till the Central Asia, then it will come back later in the now October, November. That is actually the monsoons, or retreating monsoon you can call it. That is coming back, and then that time only areas like Tamil Nadu and all will get rainfall. Okay, because the actual monsoon, it will not hit Tamil Nadu. It will come like this, and it will split and go upwards to this Bay of Bengal region. Okay, to this Sundarban region. So that is the basic story of it. Another thing which you have to learn, which is very important for UPSC, is what is the El Nino effect, what is the Indian Ocean dipole, then I think southern oscillations. There are terms like this which repeatedly UPSC have asked questions. Okay, that and all is based on phenomenon which is happening in 2 to 3 years. Like you know, this is Indian Ocean, this is Pacific Ocean. Okay, I'm explaining most of the things through pictures so that you will understand. Okay, the text again will tell you all the same things only. Okay, now this is Indian Ocean. You know, equator, the waves or the currents will be going, and usually here it will be having warm current, and you know after this Australia, what will come here? Here in Pacific, what is there? Here South American continent will be there. Imagine the map as a globe kind of thing, around kind of thing. Here there will be South America. Okay, where I am placing the cursor. So in South America, you know there is cold current, or the, I think Humboldt current or something, which is the cold current, which is the usual thing. But in El Nino, that is a normal year also. El Nino year, what will happen is this equator current, which is warm current, which will, due to some reason, it will reverse its direction and it will go and settle there. So what will happen is the place where there was cold current, it will become hot now. Okay, so that reversal is the thing which actually is the main reason for El Nino, because UPSC once formed a statement like El Nino is caused due to, and it was like unusual warming of seawater in the Pacific. That was the statement which you have to pick as answer. So these basic stories, if you know itself, you can answer the questions. You don't need to go to technical things. And there are a lot of stories like the upwelling, downwelling, then the again this pressure kind of thing. Like I told, high pressure to low pressure is going from Madagascar to India. Same way there is a high pressure, low pressure system connectivity here also. Like it has here. Like suppose some other place there is low pressure. Obviously that also will be linking, right? So that story is also related to this story. El Nino is related to monsoon. That was 2017 statement. Whether El Nino is related to monsoon or whether it has an influence on monsoon. So they are just asking you such generic things. They are not asking you the detail about what is the pressure, what is the temperature, how it is reversing. That technicalities maybe in the mains they'll ask, but for prelims you need to know the whole story, how each thing is related to each other in global phenomena. Okay, so we'll continue with the text picture. I think I have explained many things. Now the same things which I told you, they are giving in a little bit formal way, or like what are the main reasons of monsoons, the factors affecting monsoons. Please make a note. The differential heating and cooling of land and water creates low pressure on the landmass of India, while the seas around experience comparatively high pressure, like I told you. Okay, low pressure is there near the Palmer Plateau and the mainland. The shift of the position of intertropical convergence zone, ITCZ they call it, in summer over the Ganga plain. This is the equatorial trough, normally positioned about 5 degree north of the equator. Okay, 5 degree north of the equator means it's like near the south of India. India, you know, the basis of the Kerala coast and all, it is 8 degree. Okay, 8 degree onwards, I'm telling the latitude. Okay, 8 degree north. So this is the place where ITCZ is there. In summer there will be a shift, and that is also causing the monsoon. So you just understand the points alone now, don't go to details. So differential heating and cooling, intertropical convergence zone shifting, then the Madagascar thing I told, presence of high pressure area east of Madagascar, which is also called Mascarene High, approximately 20 degree Indian Ocean. The intensity and position of the high pressure area affects the Indian monsoon. The Tibetan Plateau, which I told, gets intensely heated during summer, which results in strong vertical currents and the formation of low pressure over the plateau at about 9 km above sea level. So everything I have told you as a story. Now just make a note of these points. The movement of the westerly jet stream to the north of Himalayas and the presence of tropical easterly jet streams over the Indian peninsula. This is actually that same thing near that Mascarene High. When the wind is going, you know, Somalia is there, Africa is there, there a jet stream is there, east to west, that is easterly. That tropical easterly is also adding to this monsoon effect. Okay, so that is Somalian jet stream, which is not mentioned here, but that is actually a tropical easterly jet, which is also the Somalian jet stream because Somalia is nearby. Now, intertropical convergence zone, if you need the definition, it's a broad trough of low pressure in equatorial latitude. I showed you that 5 degree. Then that is where the this is where the northeast and the southeast trade winds converge. So this statement UPSC can pick up, like whether northeast and southeast trade wind converge at where. Okay, it is in the intertropical convergence zone. The name itself tells convergence. Okay, so it's the southeast trade winds and the northeast trade winds to the equator, but moves north or south with apparent, like I told, apparent movement of the sun. We'll feel like this thing is moving up and down. And that is why the like the earth is moving with respect to sun, and that is why the shifting of ITCs it happens, and that is why wind system is shifting and overall monsoon is getting affected. So just know the relation. The actual ITCs concept we will learn in higher classes, but important thing, there is a wind system or a pressure system which is shifting because of apparent movement of the sun, and it affects the monsoon. Just know that now. Okay. Now affecting same thing I told, affect the monsoon, periodic change in pressure, wind. Southern oscillation, I don't think they have a proper definition here, but we'll see what they have given. Normally when the tropical eastern South Pacific Ocean experience high pressure, the tropical eastern Indian Ocean experience low pressure. Okay, normal year they are telling. But in certain years there is a reversal in the pressure conditions, and the eastern Pacific, the place which I told near after Japan and all, eastmost place, has low pressure in comparison to the eastern Indian Ocean. This periodic change in pressure conditions is known as southern oscillation or SO. Okay, so I told you normally it is some way, or in some years it will become in a different way. That is, the pressure changes. Okay, so that seasonal change or that yearly change is called southern oscillation because it's oscillating. So that basic thing you know. Now these values and all you don't need to know. Then if the pressure differences were negative, it would mean average and late monsoon. Okay, a feature connected with the SO is the El Nino phenomenon, in which a warm ocean current that flows past the Peruvian coast in place of the cold Peruvian coast current every 2 to 5 years. So in 2015 and 16 both it was El Nino years, not 2017, only 15 and 16 you know the drought problems and all we had. So Peruvian coast, like I told, there usually it is a cold current, but due to some phenomenon the equatorial current will go and settle there and it will become warm. Okay, so that process happens 2 to 5 years they are telling. It's actually still researches are going on, like why is that reversal happening, why that is happening and all, but we should know that is the actual result of it. The cold current will be replaced with warm current, and that will have an influence on the monsoons also. The pressure conditions are connected to the El Nino, hence the phenomenon is referred to as ENSO. So ENSO, it was a mains question, explain about ENSO. So details we'll see later in the higher classes, but you should understand the basic understanding what it is. What is southern oscillation? It's the difference in pressure. What is El Nino? It is that the warm current reaching the Peruvian coast. So these are, and here in box also you can read. This is the name given to the periodic development of a warm ocean current along the coast of Peru as a temperate replacement of the cold Peruvian current. El Nino is a Spanish word meaning the child. Actually I think it's girl child or something, because there is something called La Nina which you will learn. That is actually boy child. I don't know which is boy, which is girl, but that is how it is named. Okay, El Nino and La Nina. La Nina is actually the more positive for monsoon, you can tell. Heavy rainfall will happen. El Nino is something like drought condition will happen. Everything with respect to India I am telling, okay, because whatever is happening in India, opposite of that will be happening in that Peru region. Okay, if here it is drought, there it will be heavy rainfall. Here it is heavy rainfall, there it will be drought, and all these are decided by this El Nino effect. Okay, now the onset of monsoon and the withdrawal. Monsoon, unlike the trades, are not steady winds but are pulsating in nature. Okay, affected by different atmospheric conditions. We saw different conditions for monsoons. Then the duration of monsoon is between 100 to 120 days, you know, early June to mid-September. This is the timeline. Around the time of its arrival, the normal rainfall increases suddenly and continues constantly for several days. This is known as burst of the monsoon. There are different terms like this: burst of the monsoon, break of the monsoon, then monsoon showers are there. We'll see here pre-monsoon showers are there, which is actually just before the monsoons. Different names are there in the same chapter. We'll see for different states there are different names. Different festivals are there for them. The monsoon arrives at the southern tip of Indian Peninsula generally by the first week of June. Subsequently, it proceeds into two. I told you, the Arabian branch and the Bay of Bengal branch. Reaches Mumbai about 10 days later. This is a fairly rapid advance. The Bay of Bengal branch also rapidly advances in Assam. The lofty mountains cause the monsoon winds to deflect towards the west over the Ganga plain. This is again that picture story which I told, how that is dividing and going to different places. We don't need to repeat and waste our time. By the first week of July, western Uttar Pradesh. So it's just, I'll show you a map now, like which region, which map, and which date it is reaching. Withdrawal or retreat of monsoon is a more gradual process. The withdrawal begins in northwestern states of India by September. Okay, by mid-October it withdraws completely. The withdrawal from the southern half of the peninsula is fairly rapid. So gradually it will begin, but when it reaches the south, it is very fast. Okay, rapidly it will end. By early December, the monsoon has withdrawn from the rest of the country. The islands receive the very first monsoon showers. So I think here somewhere they should have given the names actually. In Kerala and Karnataka, that showers are called, I think, mango showers or something. So there are some names. It will be there somewhere in this chapter. Obviously, we'll see. Okay, again, not required. Now seasons. Other than monsoons, we should know some basic information about the other seasons also. So I think cold weather and hot weather season they are telling. Basically, winter and summer only. So cold weather season begins from mid-November in northern India and stays till February. Now it is winter going on. Okay. In this cold climate, we have to wake up early and we have to prepare for UPSC. No other go. So December and January are the coldest months in the northern part of India. The temperature decreases from south to north. That average temperature of Chennai, eastern coast, 24 to 25 degrees Celsius. Also, Chennai, it's like last 2 years floods and all is happening, and urban floods questions came. 4 questions came in 2016 mains. Okay, 4 questions. GS1 2 questions and GS3 2 questions, I think, because it's related to disaster also. Geography, disaster. So multiple papers, multiple questions. Okay. Days are warm and nights are cold. Okay, so winter in India, it doesn't mean like throughout the day it's cold. Okay, days are warm and nights are cold. So frost is common in north. Okay, but in South India and all, we don't have that frost kind of thing. In North India, we have frost. Now, during the season, the northeast trade winds prevail over the country. The northeast trade winds, it's coming from the northeast. They blow from land to sea. Okay, Central Asia towards mainland and then to the sea. For most part of the country, it is a dry season. Some amount of rainfall occurs on the Tamil Nadu coast, like I told, in the winter. Then some features: the weather is normally marked by clear sky, low temperature, low humidity, feeble variable winds. Okay, in case UPSC want to make it difficult for you, they'll put statements like this and confuse you. Okay, clear sky, low temperatures, low humidity, feeble variable winds. This is all cold climate or winter. Okay. So that western disturbance concept, again it's mentioned here. Low pressure system originates from the Mediterranean Sea and Western Asia and move into India along with westerly flow. They cause the much needed winter rains over the plains and snowfall in the mountains. Okay, so that is how snows are getting replenished in the Himalayas, and later it will help in the perennial rivers to get water later in summer when it melts. So it has a very good impact or very important effect in Indian climatic condition. Okay, the western disturbances. Total amount of winter rainfall is locally known as Mahavat. Okay, Mahavat is a name which again is mentioned in NCERT, so you have to know. Total amount of winter rainfall is called Mahavat. Okay, immense importance to the cultivation of rabi crops. The winter crops. Okay, wheat is the most important one. Then, okay, now we see hot weather. Hot weather again due to apparent northward movement of the sun. That all we know. March to May. Okay, now these pictures will tell you that whole story what we read. Okay, with the date they have given. If you see, June 1 Kerala coast, June 5 Karnataka, June 10 Mumbai, 15th June Gujarat, then 1st July it is again north of Gujarat and Rajasthan, 15th July it will again Rajasthan, Pakistan area. So this is how it is advancing monsoon. Now again retreating also. Here if you see again, here if you east if you see, same like western coast, it is affecting the same date, 1st June, 5th June, because it has been, the wind split into two and then it is reaching at the same time. Okay, so that is why heavy rainfalls in western coast and northeast. Now I think one more picture will be there. We'll see the picture first and then read the text. This is the picture of the retreating monsoon. Okay, So we see 15 September, go from north to south now. 15 September, 15th October, 1st November, 15th November, 1st December, 15th December. So by the end of December, see, it's reaching Sri Lanka. So it's actually coming out of Indian mainland. So that is the whole story what we saw. Again in picture they showed that is the benefit of NCERT. In other textbooks or big books, authors books, if you read, you won't get this pictorial thing. Okay, so it's easier to cover NCERT and complete the portions. Now we were looking hot weather season, I think March to May, 38 degrees Celsius. The human body temperature, you know, it is average 37 degrees Celsius. So anything above that, we will be feeling very hot. So 42 degree and all in Madhya Pradesh. You know, I think in Asia this year, Asia recorded the highest temperature of 50 degree or something. That is the highest ever recorded, and that is why climate, global warming, climatic thing and all are in news all the time. Okay, many important things are happening this year. If you see now winter, New York, the USA regions and all are like too much frost conditions, and people are not even able to get out of their house. Yesterday the Pravasi Bharati, there was the parliamentary thing happened. Actually, the MPs and mayors from across the globe who are Indians were invited to India for the first time. Okay, so that becomes important current affair. So in Modi in speech, I think Sushma Swaraj told that also. Like many MPs from the North countries and all the European countries, American countries, they couldn't. They had to wait in the airport for a long time. They had to. What is it? Flights were delayed. So still they made it. So she was appreciating them actually for making to reach India even in this harsh climatic conditions. So try to see important speeches like this. Okay, it gives you a lot of insights. Yesterday's thing I have shared in our Facebook page also. Both Modi's speech and Sushma Swaraj's speech, both are very interesting. Lot of developments about India, the future plans of India, Pravas Bharati, Indian diaspora's importance. Everything is covered in that speech. Try to see that. Okay. Now again summer, you know, it will be low pressure system, hot climate will be there. Then just mentioning, we don't have to go in detail. Monsoons, other than monsoon, nothing questions are asked, so we don't have to know. Lu, multiple times we have seen, that's the hot wind actually passing in the dry summer season, so that is Lu. Then I think Chinook or something, some other name we have seen in some other chapter. Try to recall what is Chinook also. I think it's a warm wind which flows in the winter season. Okay, this is what I told, the different names. Kal Baisakhi in West Bengal. Okay, and then Kerala and Karnataka, it's called mango showers. So these two terms UPSC have asked once. Okay, Kal Baisakhi and mango showers. It's actually different names of that pre-monsoon showers which happens just before monsoon. Okay. Now the advancing monsoon, rainy season. Again they are telling same thing. Anyway, monsoon story I have told you fully, so I'm not going to read it because it will tell you the same thing. Just maybe some extra details like this much velocity it will go, this much rainfall it will see here, 250 centimeter rainfall in Western Ghats. Same will be in the case of Northeast. Monsoon is the place in Khasi Hills where highest rainfall in the world, okay, in the world, not in India. Then rainfall in the Ganga Valley is decreased from the east to west. Rajasthan and parts of Gujarat get scanty rainfall. These are things which we know and which we don't need to read it and waste our time. Breaks in monsoon, okay, like we saw burst in monsoon where heavy rainfall happened. Breaks in monsoon is something where a dry spell, like it has a wet and dry spell, alternate thing. Okay, that's called break in monsoon. It's not like when like continuously you will get 10 days rain, suddenly 2 days there will be no rain at all, then again rain will start. So that thing is, the interval is called break in rain. Okay, so then here any other information. For various reasons the trough and its axis keep on moving northward or southward, which determines the spatial not required. Heavy rainfall brings the devastating floods. CS3 disaster management. Then depression from the head of the Bay of Bengal and cross over the mainland. Again a lot of unwanted information which is not asked in any exam. Retreating monsoon, that is the returning of that during October-November with the apparent movement of the sun towards the south. The monsoon trough or the low pressure trough over the northern plains become weaker. Okay, because the apparent movement of the sun, that ITZ will again move down. The gradual replaced by high pressure system. Okay, the southwest monsoon winds weaken and start withdrawing gradually. By the beginning of October, the monsoon withdraws from the northern plains. We saw in that map. Okay, by December it will go from the entire India. The months of October, November form a period of transition from hot rainy season to dry winter conditions. The retreat of the monsoon is marked by clear skies, rise in temperature. Okay, Monsoon, you know, wettest place on the earth. Stalagmite, stalagmite, it's actually the cave structures. If you know, limestone kind of conical structures will be there, hanging from the roof or starting from the floor. So that is actually stalagmite and stalagmite formation inside caves. October heat is again a term. It's actually by the name you know. Okay, the humid climate, humid condition in the October month. Owing to the conditions of high temperature and humidity, the weather becomes rather oppressive during the day. This is known as October heat. Okay, like it's like unbearable kind of heat and humidity. That is the October heat. Cyclone concept is not mentioned here. Cyclone is a very important topic, especially 2018. Definitely mains question will be there for cyclone, because last year it was, I think, tsunami. Previous year it was I think cloud burst was there, then floods were there. So UPSC, it's there in our syllabus, geography syllabus. So one year, what they are doing is each year they are taking one disaster and putting it as question. So this year, because of the Oki cyclone and also the cyclones, bomb cyclone which is happening in USA, definitely mains question is going to be cyclone. Please prepare well. Temperate cyclone and tropical cyclone. In this chapter we don't have it. I'll tell you, or I'll take a separate video whenever it is there. Then distribution of rainfall, again I told you, different, like Ladakh will have less rainfall, Western Ghats will have high rainfall. Monsoon as a unifying bond, can be a question like how monsoon acts as a unifying bond. So Himalayas protect the subcontinent from extremely cold weather, you know. This enables the North India to have uniformity high temperature when compared to other areas of the same latitude. Similarly, the Peninsula Plateau, under the influence of the seas from the three sides, has moderate temperature. So they are telling about the unifying thing, how Himalayas act, how plateaus act. Despite such moderating influences, there are great variations in the temperature conditions. Nevertheless, the unifying influence of the monsoon on the Indian subcontinent is quite perceptible. The seasonal alteration of the wind systems and the associated weather conditions provide a rhythmic cycle of seasons. Okay, because the monsoon is coming in between, it will give a proper rhythmic cycle to the season, like hot, then rains, then winter, then again hot. So that cycle is maintained because of the monsoons. This is again the rainfall thing. If you see western coast and the northeast, if you see, it will be above 400 centimeter. Okay, and if you see Ladakh region in the north, I'll show you this Ladakh region and Gujarat, Rajasthan, and all. If you see, it's like 0 to 20, 20 to 40, this range. Okay, so we have that varying scene. In the Ganga region and all, if you see 100 to 200, that is why cropping and all can be done here. Okay, again annual rainfall. You don't need to by heart all these charts and all, just to give a feel of how different climatic conditions are there. Different newspaper cuttings, not important. So this chapter dealt with the basic idea of it. We'll see basic MCQs. Which one of the following places receive the highest rainfall in the world? It is Monsoon. Earlier it was Cherrapunji, you should know. The wind blowing in the northern plains in the summer. Wind blowing in the northern plain in the summer is known as Lu. Okay. Kal Baisakhi is actually that mango shower thing. Which one of the following causes rainfall during winters in the northwestern part of India? Western disturbances which originating from the Mediterranean Sea. Monsoon arrives in India approximately early June. Okay. Which one of the following characteristics the cold weather season? Cold weather, I told you, it will be warm day and cold night in India. Okay, they are asking. And these questions also you can go through. Actually, it is how UPSC forms statements, as I told. What are jet streams? They'll ask like this only. What are jet streams? How do they affect climate of India? Or they'll tell like jet streams affect India. Elaborate. They'll just twist it in such a way that it looks like a UPSC question. Basically, these are all NCERT questions only. Okay. So if you solve NCERT questions alone, buy a guide or local guide of geography of that class and solve the questions, you can easily score huge marks in mains questions. Okay. So chapter 4 is done. I'll come up with chapter 5 soon. MCQs of all these things available in our Facebook page. Please contact there. You can buy it at very cheap rates and it will be a very good revision for you. So till we come up with next video, thank you and have a nice day.